Are we filming? Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm gonna start, obviously.
Yeah.
So here we are, starting with our new episode of Chilean Buskers. Well, this episode is obviously in English because, like, this guy doesn't speak Spanish. What do you expect?
I'm stupid.
Look at him. Yeah.
I'm pretty dumb.
Yeah. The only language he knows is Irish. Yeah.
English.
English. All right.
I don't even know Irish, my own language.
Yeah, that's like for us, for Chileans, it would be like knowing Mapudungun, which is like the native language of Chile. So, sorry about that. So we're gonna start with this. Here's Dylan.
Hello, I'm Dylan. A Libra, and I like long walks on the beach. And I'm also here to talk for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna talk for a while, and I wanted to know, Dylan, I've known you since I arrived here in 2018, but I never got to talk to you on how did you start with music and why and when.
How did I start? I remember being younger and wanting to sing, having that desire, and then I didn't start playing music till I was 17 though, because I kept joining sports. And my dad would buy me all the equipment.
Yeah.
And I'd quit like a week later.
Uh-huh.
You know, the only sport I stuck with for a while was rugby. I played it for like 2 years in school. But when I was asking for a guitar, my dad was like, no. Because like, you know, you spend so much money on like so much different gear. And I wasn't an athletic kid. I just kind of wanted to play sports because my friends were playing sports, you know.
Yeah.
So I just had to wait till I had my own money. I remember I was 17 and I went and I bought my first acoustic guitar. For like, it was a really bad guitar. It was like €80 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I just started learning. I started learning from YouTube and teaching myself how to play guitar. And then pretty much from there, I kind of started busking, playing on the streets like straight away. And it was terrible. Oh man, it was so bad. Like, I feel so sorry for the people who had to listen to me. But I knew I was bad. Yeah. Which is good. It's good self-awareness to have when you're that age, because I wasn't like, I didn't think I was going to make it the next day, you know? Like, I knew I was terrible.
But look at you now, man.
Look at me now, still a nobody. Look how far I've come. Amazing.
You tour around Grafton Street.
Yeah, I've toured all over the streets.
But you play for big acts. You've supported big acts.
I supported a big act, you know? Supported one big act, which was nice, don't get me wrong. Like,
well, you haven't supported me yet, so
I haven't supported you yet. But like that was nice. But like, you know, these things, they happen slowly. Yeah. You know, it's not
like a straight line, is
There's
it?
no life-changing event. I think young musicians especially think like
something like this will happen.
Yeah, like it's a big change. And it happens for some people, but that's so rare, man. Like it happens for people like Billie Eilish. It doesn't happen for like most people. Like she's a freak incident, you know. Like most of the time you're just kind of very slowly taking steps towards reaching an audience, because that's really all the goals are. You're just trying to reach an audience, and that's the only goal really, you know. After you've made the art, it's like
exactly,
just trying to find that
you
audience.
want to be heard.
Yeah, so it's nice that I've done like cool stuff. I'm happy and proud of some of my accomplishments and stuff like that, but like it's not you still wake up and you're yourself, and nobody's calling me, you know. Nobody's like, we want to give you a deal. Like, it's just not happening. Yeah, which is okay. It's cool. Yeah, but that's the crack.
If that happens one day, how would you feel?
I don't know.
Would you feel
that? I'd be a bit annoyed if a label was trying to offer. Because here's the thing, right? Yeah. The deals are designed to give you the least amount of money possible. Exactly. Like, some part of me would appreciate that they want to get in touch with me.
They consider you.
But like, I think ultimately I'd find it annoying. Like, I got offered a sync contract recently.
And what's that?
A sync contract is when a production company puts your song in a TV show or a movie. Oh. Okay. And I think my songs are perfect for sync.
Yeah, definitely.
But the deal was terrible. And they wouldn't negotiate it.
All right.
Yeah, it was really bad.
They just gave you the contract, sign it.
They sent me a contract, and it was like exclusive for 5 years. So that song could only be licensed to them for synchronization for 5 years.
All right.
I could leave after 2 years if they made no money. But that means that if they even made me €30, that's 5 years locked in, which €30 over 5 years is nothing, right? So like and then it was just such a bad contract, and so I was supposed to do a Zoom meeting with them, and then we didn't do it in the end. So they just sent me like a list of questions that are usually asked, and the first point was we've simplified the language in the contract so you don't need legal representation to understand it. And as soon as I read that, I was like, this deal is designed to fuck over 18-year-olds. Then they had another point. They said, because we deal with so many artists on a monthly basis, we don't negotiate the contracts at all. So that told me two things. That meant you're emailing pretty much everyone trying to get them.
Exactly. So you're farming. Nothing special to them.
You're farming music. Like you're just trying to hold as much music as possible, so that you have options, but the artists don't. And then the second thing from that point is that like you're not open to talking at all. Like even major labels. I have friends signed to major labels. Like you're allowed to sit down and ask for other things. The label can say no, but you're at least allowed to ask. You know, this idea that like we don't negotiate at all. It's like, what are we talking about? So I just like turned it down. I feel like I'd feel the same about a label. If the deal was bad enough, I'd just be like, thanks, but also fuck off. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm not letting you screw me over.
Exactly.
You know, it's a nice thing about being a little bit older too. Like I feel like at 18, I would have kind of rushed to sign it. You know,
because you don't know what you're going.
It's like also you don't really you're just so excited by the idea that someone. Even my friend Harry, Harry Fennell, he put it to me like this. He was like, at 18, you would have been happy that they even want to fuck you over. You know? Like, you'd be happy that they want to take advantage of you. Even if you knew they were taking advantage of you, you'd be like, this is cool. Like, someone in the business
you could tell people and
it's like
and you feel considered.
It's like the idea of like what might happen. But the way I look at it now is like, I already don't have a sync deal. So if I turn down a sync deal, I haven't lost anything. Like my life is the exact same. I only lose by signing a bad contract. You know.
Definitely. If it's not a life-changing thing, there's no point, obviously.
It's just like, especially like, they just wanted to hold the song. They didn't have a project in mind. So the idea was that they'd hold the song and then they'd start looking for projects.
It's basically they would become the owners. Of the song
for 5 years. Like I'd be 31 by the time I could do anything with that song again. And it's like they didn't promise enough to make that worth my while. If they said we have a movie and this song's perfect for this movie, I'd be more open to it because that would mean like you have a project,
you have
they have money. You know, it's like they're gonna pay me. So like I would have been definitely more open to talking about it, but
definitely.
At the time, it was just like, I don't know. We'll hold on to your music for maybe 5 years, and we'll see what happens. It's like I'm not signing that deal. No. That's a really bad deal.
BS, isn't it? It's horseshit.
I just feel like everyone's always trying to like screw you over in some way. It's the side of music that really annoys me. It's the business element of it is very frustrating to me. Because I understand everyone needs to get paid. You know, I understand why managers take 15% and why producers take points, but there's also people who just like they go too far with it, you know. Because I also understand the labels need to make money, you know. And they're not good deals necessarily, but like if you're with the right label, they can help you push the music to the audience that it needs to get to. So it is useful, you know.
Like in that sense.
I don't agree with the narrative that nobody needs a label anymore. Like that's true if you're really good at marketing. But I'm not. You know, so I probably do need someone like a label or like for at least for publishing. You know, but like, I get it that everyone needs to make their money, but there's just some people, man, that just want to take everything and give nothing back, and it's so annoying.
That's the way the industry is right now, isn't it?
It's just frustrating. I find that with like all forms of art, you know, everyone's like trying to milk the artist for as much as they can.
So you think you find it hard to separate the artist from the business?
I just find it hard to do the business at all. You know, I can't. I'm not good at it. I don't have the patience to be a businessman. Like I don't have the patience to be a good salesman. I'm too easily. I'm probably a little bit too quick to just tell people to leave me alone. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like if they're just kind of being annoying, I'm just like, you know what, like that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that definitely gets tricky sometimes because I probably need a manager who's like a really good salesperson.
Yeah.
You know, who can really get out there and get stuff done.
I'm sure you get something like that eventually.
We'll see. I'm not really looking right now either. You know, but
it just comes.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see as things grow, which hopefully they will over the next year. I'm sure I'll get to a point where I'm like, I need a manager now, and then I'll go looking for someone.
Yeah.
But things
but for now, things have worked well for you because I was in Dylan's last gig in Whelan's. In Whelan's was the place that many big artists, big acts have played.
Yeah, down through the years. Yeah.
And you sold out. Yeah. And I was there for the first time. I felt like shit before because I couldn't go to any of your gigs. And I was like, I need to make it happen now. So I went with Amy that night. She had to leave early, obviously, because she had to work. But then I was there and I was looking at Dylan and I was comparing the Dylan that I used to share the spot at Molly Malone and on that stage, and you were a complete different person. Yeah. You were so into it. Yeah. You were like full on.
Yeah, like buskin's work for me. Yeah. Whereas like stage performance isn't.
Yeah, but I've never seen you on the stage like that, you know?
Yeah. So it's like well, that's what I enjoy. Like I enjoy surprising people. And I think I surprised a lot of people that night. And like it could be better. Like I have ideas to make the live performance better again, but it went well, you know? And I like that because like a lot of people like yourself, a lot of people will only see me like maybe playing on the street or like playing at like a party in a house or something. And it's just not the same because I'm just sitting there. Like I'm not trying to like really entertain when I'm doing that, you know, because I don't see the point in it. I don't see the point in giving like 100% because you don't get it back. Yeah, you know, in those settings, you know, and it also helps that I had a band. Yeah, they can just carry it if I'm just going off. Yeah. They can just keep the train on the tracks, you know? Yeah. And just kind of let me get weird and get out there, you know? Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to just kind of like surprise people.
Yeah, it was amazing, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, what the fuck? Yeah. You know, like I had some friends.
This guy has feelings.
I had a couple friends say to me afterwards, they're like, I kept like freaking out. And then I'd remember like, wait, that's Dylan. Like there were moments where they like forget that like that's my friend on stage, you know. Yeah, and it was really nice too to have like a lot of strangers in the room. Like that always feels good when you're on stage because it means you're reaching people. Yeah, you know when you look out and you're like, okay, obviously my friends are here, but I also don't know like half the room. So that's like a really good sign. Yeah, I'm connected. You know? Yeah, that gig was really fun.
Yeah, because you're in the game now. You know, you're in the music scene of Dublin. Yeah. Like constantly playing around. I wish I could be there also, to be honest with you, but it won't happen.
It's not that complicated. Like the only thing that's ever been done for me was Glenn Hansard offering me a support slot. Yeah. That's it. Everything else I just did myself. Yeah. And like still now, like I did that sports lot and it was great. Yeah. And it was a big bucket list thing for me. But
yeah, it's like such a big act.
Well, it's not just that it's a big act. It's like Glenn really inspired me a lot as a kid. Yeah. And he's always been really nice to me. Ever since the first time I met him. And just very encouraging. But on top of those things, like he was touring with Marquetta Glova. Yeah. Who is his partner in the band The Swell Season. And they did a movie called Once. Yeah. And
I think everybody knows that movie.
But by the time I started listening to Glenn Hansard's music, The Swell Season had already stopped playing together. So I never thought I'd get to see them live. Yeah. And I saw they were doing another tour, so I bought a ticket. Yeah. But then I got offered the slot. So like not only did I get to see one of my personal favourite acts live, I got to open for them in a situation where I thought I'm never gonna get to see those guys live again. You know,
so
it's like
weird.
Yeah. It was like kind of like, it was just like a big bucket list thing.
Yeah,
you know?
you're not only seeing them, but you're playing for them.
Yeah, like I did that for like 16-year-old me, you know.
Yeah.
I would have done it anyway, obviously,
Yeah,
but like it was a real. That was for 16-year-old me. That was like if I think of us having a conversation with myself 10 years ago, he'd be like, "No fucking way! Like, there's just no way that happened." And I'd be like, "It happened, man. Like it really did happen, you know."
It's something that you don't even dream of, because it's like.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't really, in terms of like what I want to do in music, I don't really have like support slots in mind. You know, like, and like that would be cool, but you're not like chasing a support slot, right? Because I think you're putting a real ceiling on yourself. If you're like, I want to support Coldplay or something, it's like, why would you not aim to do a big gig yourself?
Yeah.
Like, support slots should be way in the back of your head, you know? They're good for promoting stuff, for sure, but like, they're not like a goal.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of nice if it happens. But yeah, man, everything outside of that, like, I've just always done it myself, and
I'm sure about that.
with help from friends, like that's another thing. Like, I have a really good network of friends, and I get like frustrated and lost, and I just have a good network of friends who are way smarter than me in a lot.
They guide you. Yeah.
Well, just if I know I don't know something, I ask a friend who I know knows it.
Yeah.
You know, so like social media, I have a friend who's really good at social media, and I'm notoriously bad at social media. So if I'm like, what do you think? I'll just be like, what do you think I should do to promote this gig?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, here's everything that's trending right now on social media. Pick one of the things that you can do without it being cringy, because she knows I hate cringing. And do that, and I'm like, thank you. You know, it's just like, because it's just like you need to outsource stuff as well. You know,
you cannot do everything.
It's never really just yourself. You know, like you have to have people who support you, and you can do it with any type of friend. Like most of my friends are musicians, but like they don't have to be musicians either. They just need to be like good at the things you're bad at. Yeah, you know, and I've always been kind of good at doing that too. Yeah, just like admitting, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so if you want to be in that scene, man, like you just do it. You just book your own venue, start doing gigs. Yeah, push out your music. You know, it's not.
Yeah, I feel like at my 33 years of age now. It's funny to say, but because I started late or later than everyone else. Yeah. Because I started doing music full time, or I was full into music. Let's say it this way, when I just got here. In 2018. So by then, I hadn't write any song. Yeah. With 27 years, I was 27 years old when I got here. Yeah. But then I got into writing songs here, and I learned how to write songs here. It was like such a like new thing for me to add a voice melody on top of a chord progression. That I didn't know how to do it. Yeah. I was like so lost. Yeah, but eventually I was lucky enough to have a guy from the US that saw me playing on the street and said, "Here, look, I'm a songwriter. I just write songs, but writing songs like literally." He wrote only the lyrics. So he gave me the lyrics, and I had to create the melody, the voice, and everything. And I was like, and he was going to pay me, so he paid me to do that. So I got paid to start creating music, which was great, you know. It was like a great start for me.
It's super rare.
It's super rare. It's super rare, and it wasn't a lot of money, obviously.
It doesn't matter. Getting paid for your own music is very infrequent. Yeah. Like it's a feast or a famine. Yeah. Like it's either happening all the time. This is how I find it. A lot will happen in a short space of time, and then nothing. Yeah. For like 5 or 6 months. Yeah. And then you'll have another maybe 2-month period where people are just kind of giving you money. Yeah. But for your own stuff. Yeah, you know? Like it's easy to go to a bar and play cover songs for money, especially in Dublin. There's a big scene for that here, and the money's pretty good, you know. But like, it's really hard to get people interested in your own stuff. You know?
Because they're used to listen to covers.
Yeah, especially in those bars and stuff. Like, it doesn't really make sense for a bar to hire me to do my own music, you know. But like, it's just. It just makes it really rare that like someone's gonna pay me to do my own stuff. You know?
So anyways, that's how I started, and I realized, all right, I think I can write my own songs now. So then I started writing songs, I have a band now.
Yeah.
You know, and we've been rehearsing for a while just to get like really tight to play at a live venue, at a gig. But I'm like patient enough. Like I've waited so long to play music and do my own stuff that I'm not like in a rush to get into the music scene right now.
Yeah.
Because it's already late for me.
Yeah.
I'm 33 years old, so it's like I can wait like a few more months now because I know this year I'm gonna get into it now.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm preparing myself.
There's no rush. I was just saying that if that was something you wanted to do, like it's actually way easier. It feels more complicated when you're outside it.
Yeah, when you see it from another perspective.
Yeah, the only hard thing is finding your audience, and I also don't know how to do that. Like I can't give you advice on that because I'm.
That's the most complicated thing.
Like
isn't it?
I don't know why people showed up to that gig. I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Like, but I was really shocked when it sold out. Like I had no idea that was gonna happen.
Yeah, because I talked to you like 2 weeks prior to the gig.
Yeah.
And I said, and I asked you like, how is the tickets sale going? And you said to me, oh, it's getting there, but I'm sure people will buy on the day.
Yeah.
And they
was
did.
sold out. Yeah. It was like people were texting me earlier in the day being like, this gig sold out, and I was like, I think they just ended online sales or something, because sometimes venues do that. On the day you can only buy the ticket on the door, you know. So I really didn't know that was going to happen, but like I don't know how I did that, and I don't know if I can do it again, you know. Hopefully I can, but like we'll see. Like, you know, it's hopefully, but like I don't really know how that works, you know, and that's the big challenge. Everything else,
when you're independent.
Yeah, just in general, I think even for a big artist, it's like once you have an audience, it's either trying to expand it or trying to keep it.
Yeah,
becomes its own challenge, you know. Yeah, I think like there's this kind of misconception that this idea of making it, I don't think it's real, because a lot of artists have their moment, and then like the trick is to like jump on the moment when it's happening, make the most of it, but then try to keep that audience. Yeah, you know, like it's really hard to keep that audience, and I see that a lot with a lot of like, kind of older Irish acts. Like, the venues get smaller and smaller, every like 3 or 4 years, because they haven't figured out how to keep it. Like the diehard fans will always show up. Yeah, you know, which is great, and like those guys can still do great for the rest of their life, you know. But like, there is no making it. Like, it's not real. It's never been real. It's the challenges keep showing up. It's more pressure. Yeah. Like at a certain level, like you've crew that rely on you to pay for their children's toys at Christmas or whatever. You know, like I have no employees right now. My life is as easy as it's gonna get. I'm single. I have no children. I have no employees. Like, this is as simple as it gets. Yeah. And if the music keeps growing, which hopefully it does, it will actually only get harder, you know, because there's more expectation and stuff too, you know.
Definitely, yeah. You nailed it there.
I just think that's something like, specifically young artists, everybody, but like young artists especially, just, they're like, oh man, if I could just make it. It's like, then what? Yeah. But like, then what? What, you're going to retire if you have one hit single? Exactly. Like, you're not. No. You can't. No. Because there's more pressure.
Yeah, how are you gonna make more money to?
Yeah, now you're gonna end up in like Lewis Capaldi's situation, where like he was trying to do a second album and was freaking out because he was like, I can't make something as good as the first album. It's not gonna do as well, and all these fears, you know. And it's like, and he did a really interesting documentary on it, but it's like
on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, but it's like, that's what happens. That's what happens to people. People have this. I just don't want like young musicians to be too focused on that, because I think it's bad for them. Yeah. You know, I try to always be honest with people who are younger than me if they're asking questions. You don't want to be too honest, because it might break their dream. You know, like the dream has to stay alive as well. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But like, I want to kind of gently warn them, like, hey man, like nobody's signing you to a label off the street. That's not what happens here. Yeah. Here you learn how to play live frequently. Yeah. You'll get a lot better. You'll even build an audience a bit. Yeah. But like, you know, it's not magic out here.
No.
You know?
No, it's not. It's not the way it is. Like, most people think that, especially older generations. Yeah. I remember my mom always saying to me, "Oh, you never know who's watching you."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, Mom, nothing's gonna happen that way.
But like, I've had celebrities watch me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but like, they're also just people. Like, what are they gonna do for me? Like,
nothing.
what could they do?
Yeah.
Like, nothing really, you know.
One day I was playing Hotel California,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember which member of Kansas was here.
Yeah.
In Dublin, and the crew were wearing the badges of no, sorry, it's not the Kansas, the Eagles.
Yeah.
So the two crew members were wearing badges of the Eagles, and they were watching me playing Hotel California, and I fucking freaked out, and I made so many mistakes because I was like, "Oh, that's this," and the Eagles. And I was like, "All right then."
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, you know, like that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, like you might be singing a really nice version of Hotel California, but like that. How could you translate that? Let's say they see it and they think you're great, right? Like they don't know you're a good songwriter from doing that.
Yeah.
They don't know. So like, what can they do for you?
I know.
Like, you know, like they're gonna call up their label and be like, "This guy sang our song really well." You know, or like their management to be like,
fair play to him.
You need to look into this guy. He sang our song really well.
Yeah.
Like, did he sing his own song? They're like, I don't know. We only watched our song.
Yeah.
It never works like that. No. And it's good that it doesn't. Like, it would be weird if it did.
Yeah. You know? It would be too easy.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah. And I just think like, but even like you know this, like people have been signed. Buskers have been signed. We know buskers have been signed, and they've always been talented, but like. They needed to, you know, music is business at the end of the day, which sucks, but it is. And it's like, as a business, labels and management and bookers and all these things need to see that you could be profitable. Yeah. And they're not going to see that from playing in the street or watching a YouTube video. Exactly. You know, one YouTube video. Obviously, people make it on social media because enough stuff hits consistently. Yeah. Then they kind of go, oh, maybe there's something here. Yeah. You know, but it's not magic. It never has been. You know,
it's all hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the good thing. Like, I think like you need to work. You need to be prepared if something like that happens. And I think like I can't imagine. I actually even think even something as simple as the support slot, which is basically just a half-hour gig, right? It's not like.
But if you're not prepared for that opportunity,
I think if I did it at 18, I would have freaked out, like, you know, like, and then I would have felt really bad afterwards that like nothing really happened. Whereas like I was lucky that it happened when I was a bit older because I was like, yeah, this would be a nice gig for myself. Yeah, and like nothing's gonna come of it because it shouldn't. Because it's one support slot, it's a half-hour slot. Yeah. Hopefully I get some fans from it, which I did. Like, there were people at that headline show that were at that gig, which was really nice. You know, that was nice. That was nice because it meant I won some people. You know, but yeah, I think like playing as long as I have and just kind of focusing more on trying to be a good artist over a successful artist has like prepared me more for stuff like that. You know, because you know, again, like. The sports art was fun, but it's not a big deal. I had a lot of people being like, that's amazing. And I was like, it's cool. And it's really nice that Glenn and Marquette offered it to me. Like, that feels good. Yeah. Because I admire their music so much. Yeah. But it's not like, they were people who had the idea of making it in mind. And it's like, it's not what it is. Like, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a fun gig. Yeah. And it was a fun gig. Yeah. But like, yeah, I felt like other people were putting the pressure on me, like kind of projecting their own pressure on me to like make it something more than it was or something. And it was just, I found it kind of weird and uncomfortable. Yeah. And again, if I was 19 or something, like even that pressure, I would have been like,
you'd be devastated now.
I just like, I'd be freaking out, and then I'd be like, and then I'd be beating myself up. I'd be like, I didn't jump on it enough. I didn't make a big enough deal out of it. And it's like, now that I'm older, I'm like, like it's good, you know. Which I really like.
It happened.
Yeah, it's a comfortable place to be, man. You know, and it's like And
you feel now that you were ready for that opportunity.
Sort of. Yeah. Sort of. I think now I'd be really ready for it. Like,
because you have the experience now of doing it.
Yeah, like what I should have done was I should have lined up a headline show immediately off the back of it, and I kind of did that because I got advice to do it, but it was I got the advice a bit too late, so it got a bit messy. Like next time I'd just be like, while I'm on stage, I'd be like, I have a gig with my band in this place. Just stuff like that, you know. But like
that's the business side.
And like now I know. Now I know. And a friend of mine did a really important support slot recently, and he's potentially booked for it. I can't say what it is, obviously, because it's not my thing, but like potentially booked for a really big gig in Dublin. So I just gave him that advice. That's the nice thing about that. It's I got that advice from someone who knows much more about music business than I do. So now I get the share and like, here's where I messed up. So you should go do that because it'll be really good for you if you do it, you know.
That's very good.
Yeah, which is awesome. But yeah, I was definitely more prepared for it
than you would have been.
Like I think I would have not appreciated it more because I already appreciated it, but like I think it would have hit me a bit deeper if I was like 20 or something. But like, as in like emotionally, like, I probably would have cried when I got the news or something, you know. But like I would have been way underprepared for it, so it's it worked out perfectly, I think, as well as it could have gone. How do you feel? So you mentioned like about being an older musician or whatever. You feel like it's late for you. Like, where does that feeling come from? Why do you feel like it's late?
Because I see most young artists playing more original gigs. And I'm not. And I'm 33, and that's when I get to compare myself with others in that regard. Not that I think, oh, they're brilliant because they're doing it. It's just like, I think I did so many different things back in the day. As you know, I studied a different thing before coming here. So in my head, it's like, I lost all those years. What if instead of studying back then, I would have come here and started doing music? Now I'll be doing so many different like gigs, or you know.
But like honestly, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Because like I've been doing this 9 years now, and my first 5 years, which is a time when you were working and studying and stuff, like I was just kind of fucking around. Like I wasn't, you know.
You wasn't into it.
Yeah, like I was doing a lot of like open mics and stuff because I thought it was good practice, you know, especially just good practice for playing your original music. And it was easy and it was free, you know. So like, so I was doing that, but like, I'd say I've learned more in the last 2 years than I learned in the previous 7. So it's like, and I also think songwriting is like good songwriting comes from accumulated life experience. So like you have a different perspective than I do because I've been doing music as long as I've been an adult. You know, and which is nice, but I definitely don't understand a lot about like normal life in a way that you would.
Traditional, let's call it. Not
traditional,
normal.
traditional. That's what I mean. But you know what I mean? Like it's like you have a perspective that I don't have because you did that, which will power your songwriting.
Exactly, and that's something that I was telling my partner the other day. It's like, now that I call myself a musician, and it's like, and now that I'm apart from that corporate world, studying engineering and all that kind of stuff, I can see myself from another perspective, and I can see the system, how the system works, and how much I want to be out of it, with what I'm doing right now. So you're right, like that gives me different ideas to also write different situations and
That's also the thing. Like, I've always wondered what my life would be like if I just went and did a corporate job or became some sort of like doctor. I never would have been a doctor, but you know what I mean. Like it's like I have that question. I don't want to be part of it at all. Like I don't want to do it, but I have the question. But like you don't even have the question now because you did it. You know, which is just like it's a different perspective. So I think it's a good thing you did it, first of all, and second of all, like you're only doing this since 2018. Like you're still a new songwriter. Like, I've been writing since I was 17. I'm 26 now. I've only started writing what I deem to be good songs in the past 3 years. So that's like that took me 6 years. So like you're on your 6th year now. You know, like you're actually right on track. Like, I don't think you're late to anything. You just used the word late, and I was like, kind of like, I don't want them to think that because it's not real, you know. It's like,
yeah, that's true.
Look, man, if you were making like Justin Bieber music, I'd be like, listen, bud, you're not 18. You know, just because like that genre, you need to be young entering it. Like you have to be young when you're walking into it.
Yeah.
For that specific genre. Everything outside of that, it's like, it's not really relevant. You know, rock bands are kind of older, folk musicians are older. Any genre really, except like pop.
Yeah.
Because even alternative pop, like you can
get away with it
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Lizzo didn't have her first big hit till she was like 33 or something like that. But she was a songwriter for years before, and she was gigging her own music for years. It just took so long, you know. And the song of hers that blew up was released a year before it blew up. You know, so like these things take time, and it's like there is no like right time for like you're never really late unless you're making like boy band music or something. Then you have to be young, because it's creepy if you're 40 and you're trying to advertise your music to 14-year-old girls. Like, you're a creepy weirdo, please stop. You know, like please stop. They're the type of guys I'd like look them in the eye and be like, you should quit music. You know, but like outside of that, there's no rush. There never has been, you know.
It's like I feel this anxiety in my body, you know, that I want to accomplish the next thing, next thing. And it's just, it doesn't end.
No, the goalposts keep moving. That's how it works. That's why it works.
Yeah.
Like, Bob Dylan could have retired after his first album. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's still playing, isn't
he? He's still playing. He's still fucking, like, I don't know what he's doing, man. He's crazy. But, you know, it's like, that's why it works. Because you do it and you think it's going to fill a hole in you, and it doesn't. Because you wake up tomorrow and you're still Francesco, and I'm still Dylan. And, like, doesn't matter how great the gig went or how well the release went.
You're always thinking
I have the
next
same. And it applies all the way up. I'm sure it applies to, like, Chris Martin and Ed Sheeran or whatever who are doing stadium tours, you know. It's like they still have to wake up and beat themselves in the morning. So like, but that's why it works, because that's how you keep the drive to keep creating. Because you do it and you're happy when you do it at the time. Then you go, oh, that wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. And then you start to go, I need to do something better. And then you know, and you get in this thing, and then you just keep going with it. You know. As that's my thing. I'm always just trying to improve.
Especially when you hear the song that you wrote, that is already mixed and mastered. You're releasing it. Does it happen to you that it's like, I could have done this better now?
Sometimes. Well, my thing with that is like, you just have to release the music at a certain point. Like, you can't hold on to it forever. So then what's the point? It's never finished.
No,
like
never.
It's just like, so I don't let that get in the way of me putting stuff out.
Yeah. Also one thing that I'm not gonna say his name, but a guy that was very negative made this point when he was recording at a studio, and his point that was that he didn't like recording on a studio because it doesn't mean that day in that particular moment would be the perfect feeling or sensation when he was performing. He could have recorded the same thing on a different day, and it would sound different. And I always think about that, but also I think that when you record on the studio, you have to try and give the best of you when you do it.
Sure.
What do you think about that?
I get what he was saying. I think the energy of a live performance is very different than a recording, and like, unfortunately, even if you capture the audio of the live performance, the energy doesn't come through the recording.
No.
So that kind of sucks. And so I can understand the hesitancy to record music, because like, ideally I would just record all my stuff live with a band. If you could capture energy in audio, which you can't really.
No, you have to be there.
Yeah, even like looking back on videos of Whelan's, like, it looks very different.
It looks like flat. Let's say. but for the people that weren't there,
there was
for
something
me,
bubbling, like
like I was so into it. I was so into watching your performance that
and I felt that in the
cried.
room, like I felt that from the audience. But then I watched the videos and I'm like, it just doesn't look great or something. It doesn't feel good to watch it back. So I actually kind of agree with him. But if you want to do this for a career and you want to do it off the back of your own music, it's just something you have to do. And you can do things to try to capture a different type of energy. Like I have rituals when I'm recording. I'll often look back on like notes that I wrote. So when I'm writing a song, I'll write notes on it sometimes, just to like kind of flesh out what I'm trying to talk about, so that I get it clear in my head.
Because there's always a story behind the lyrics.
I have the idea, yeah. So I'll look on the notes and I'll kind of put myself mentally back there, which I actually find kind of easy if I just have like, I just need like 3 minutes of silence or something. I get myself like mentally back there, and then I can sing it as someone who still really means it. Because, you know, obviously, look, man, if I ended a relationship with a girl 3 years ago, when I'm singing the song, I'm not really feeling it the way I was, you know? So like, I have to force myself into a specific zone. But like,
it's like acting, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. So like, recording is actually very like acting, you know? Whereas live performances, you're following a flow. Like you're pulling a thread. You're not acting, you know? If you are acting, people can tell, I think, you know? It doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good. You know, if you're like,
you think you have to act, but because you perform, but it's
I find like a lot of bands and stuff try to force energy, and it comes off really like, it makes you go like, whereas if I feel like they're actually into it, if they're like, scream, I'll be like, you know, because I'm like, I see that they're into it, you know, like, but there's a lot of like pantomime in performance, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't think it's like necessarily like, I don't think it makes for a very good performance, you know. But it's a different energy you're trying to capture in recording. Like you're trying to capture what the song meant, I think. From my own perspective, like all these are opinions, you know, and there's probably a million good arguments for why I'm wrong. And I'd probably
you wouldn't.
No, but like, you know, I'd probably agree with them and stuff. But like that for me is the difference, and that's why it's worth recording, because if you can put yourself in the zone you were in when you wrote it, you can get it the sound.
That's a very good tip.
Yeah, that's just how I do it, you know. It might not be right for someone else. Everybody has their own rituals, you know. I also have my own pre-gig rituals that like, you know, that like work for me but might not work for someone else, you know. But that's just how I do it. I know our friend Laura Alden, she has specific pictures and stuff that she likes to look at when so that she's in a she's like in a zone, you know. And it might not be anything to do with the song. But they'll just kind of decorate the room with things that she feels good about. And like, and I've tried that and it didn't work for me. You know, my thing is much more like in my head, you know. So it's like all these things are just worth trying yourself and finding your own version. Too, you know. But that's my opinion on that. Like, I actually don't think that guy's wrong for himself. But like, everyone's good different, right? So like, it applies to like, what applies to you doesn't necessarily apply to me.
For me, because I speak English as a second language, when I learned English, this is something that probably you're not familiar with. Whenever I learned a new word, I picture the word in my head. I always ask the native speaker to spell it for me. So it's like, let's say I learned the word song. All right, spell it for me. SONG. So I think of that word, then I get the meaning and I associate it with something. And whenever I'm writing songs or I'm singing lyrics, especially when I'm busking or when I'm recording at the studio, I think of the words and what they mean to me, and I can interpret them that way. So that's what works for me. Because when people say, when you're performing a song, even it's your song or someone else's song, you tend to own it, to make it your own. You know. So for me, that's the way. It's like picturing the words and thinking, why should I scream in this part of the song? Why should I do it softly?
Mm-hmm.
Why should I, apply different techniques or emotions to it? It's because the words have meanings behind, and for me that's the way. It's like interpreting words and what the lyrics mean to me. That's the way I do it.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's a perfectly good way, And it's like, that's a big thing, just finding your own way of doing things. Because I think like a lot of people seem to think there's a formula, especially since the existence of TikTok. And like it's like formulaic stuff, but like if they were actually paying attention, they'd realize it doesn't work. Like I can copy what other artists are doing on TikTok, and I might get views on TikTok, but it doesn't really convert to good art, or ticket sales, or streams. Even it's a lot of people with a lot of followers on TikTok who can't get people to listen to their original music, or they can't sell out. They can't sell out a small room, even if they have like 1 million followers. You know, so a big thing is just find your own voice.
There's no correlation there.
Like find your own voice in music is bigger than just writing the songs, or like find your own singing voice. Like it's also, it bleeds into other areas. It's stuff like that. It's like, how do you approach recording? How do you approach live performance? And like you borrow from your heroes, everyone does. But like you want most of it to be you.
And what I do a lot, because I'm good at doing impressions of people or imitating, I grab things from all of you on the street. So I cannot say like I copy you, I copy. It doesn't work like that, because you learn by imitating.
Sure.
So I learn different things because I'm probably a bit neurodivergent as we were speaking. Like I pay attention to too many things at the same time. I'm really good at reading people. So I cannot predict behaviors, but I can predict how do you say intentions. So if you're a person with good intentions, I would get it straight away. If you're not, I would be like, knock off. So I'm very picky with people also because of that. So back to my point, when I see different buskers performing, even the good ones and the not so good ones, you always can learn something from.
Oh, for sure, everyone. Man. Like I take so much inspiration from friends too. Like
it's not only your heroes, but
I've been deep in music peers for like 9 years now, and I've had a lot of different peers in music down through the years. Like, sometimes you just kind of stop talking to people, not for any reason, but like you drift apart or whatever. So I've had so many kind of cycles of friend groups, and a few core people who've always been there, but a lot of people come through, and I've been inspired by every single one of those people at some point. Genuinely, like I've definitely learned something from everybody, and I think you're 100% right in that. It's like, it's very easy to look at someone who's like maybe not a great singer and kind of stand there and be judgmental of it. But like, you can learn something from that kid. Something. 100%. Like, he might be hard to listen to, but you can definitely learn something. Even if it's just his attitude. Because like, I was a bad singer at 17. I knew I was a bad singer, but my attitude was like, I want to be better. And I
was like that too.
I was just like obsessed with being better. And knowing I was bad, and like I'm just kind of thinking like, I can't wait for the day I do a performance and I come off stage and I know it was good.
And did you think to yourself back then, when you weren't great, let's say, as you are now, did you think, I know there's something inside of me that can do it better? I know I can do this better.
No. I see. I didn't really understand like training your voice. I didn't really understand that, like.
No, but not even knowing about that. You knew that.
No, I had a deep desire to be better, and I wanted to be a good songwriter. I wanted to be all these things. I didn't know if I could do it, but I was just willing to try. Like I was really willing.
You never gave up.
I was just willing to try. Well, what happens then is like after a year, you look back on a video, and you go, and I was still crap, and I knew I was still crap. Like I still knew it. Like I wasn't. I just knew I wasn't good, but I was like looking back on a video, I was like, but I am better than I used to be.
That's good.
That's when I started. That's when I started to be like, oh, I can get better. But that like first, maybe it wasn't a year, maybe it was a bit less than that. But it was a long enough time, maybe 8 months. Those first 8 months, I was just like, damn, I hope I get better. I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah.
And we'll see, but I really hope I get better.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I really pushed my voice the most as well, like really trying stuff, like uncomfortable things for singing, you know?
Yeah.
And it going terribly and embarrassing myself and just being like, okay, well.
But at least you did it in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what's great about busking. It's
yeah.
like, it gets you really immune to, I don't get embarrassed if I mess up on stage.
No, me neither.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, obviously no.
Like, I'm not very happy about it.
But you're not hard on
But I'm
yourself.
not embarrassed. Yeah, like the show keeps going.
Yeah.
You know, I don't stop.
Yeah.
Or I don't like, I don't like not want to play anymore.
And also, you know that after you perform, you cannot say, "Oh, sorry, I fucked up in this part of the song, but I hope it went okay." You learn how to not say.
I had to learn that.
You know, yeah.
I had to learn that.
You learned that
when I was younger. I was very quick to talk shit about my own music.
Yeah.
Especially on stage.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people.
What I learned was like a lot of people like what you're doing. Sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you start talking shit about it, it makes them feel dumb for liking it.
Yeah.
So that it's really bad, like it, because like I have a song that's out that I don't really love, but some people really like it.
Yeah.
So I don't talk shit about it because of the lesson I learned, where it's like, like you can't make your audience feel stupid for enjoying what you did.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good move, and it's like, and you're not doing it for that reason.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it because you're self-deprecating and insecure. You know, and you want to point out the mistake so nobody can use it as a weapon against you, and all these things, right? But like it's unfair on the audience to do that. For the people who are enjoying it. For the people who didn't notice it, or maybe even heard that and didn't care.
Yeah.
You know? Because you have to get over your own insecurities there. And busking's great for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because even the biggest acts on the street, man, like they have big audiences and stuff. But like most people are ignoring them. Like thousands upon thousands of people ignore you every day. And it doesn't mean they hate you.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful lesson to learn young, you know, as young as you can. And, or even just early in music. Like you're lucky too that you started with busking because you get to learn that lesson early in music.
Yeah. And
a lot of people learn it way later. And it could, you know, they kind of have these frustrations like, why aren't the crowd listening? It's like, they just don't care. Yeah. And that's okay. Like they don't have to, you know? And busking's performing on the street is very powerful for these things.
Yeah, or even when they're listening to you, but they don't give you money.
Yeah.
Because I'm very empathetic in that regard.
Yeah.
I think, who chose to be out on the street playing music? We did. You did. I did. Is this a job? No, it's not a job.
No.
We decided it will become our job.
Yeah.
And now, if you're just a pedestrian walking down the streets, would you feel obligated to give money to a musician because they're playing music where you're right at the place where you're walking by, or because you stand there and listen to them for a couple of minutes? No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
You know? So
I never understand when buskers are pissed off.
Yeah.
That someone didn't tip them.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the frustration of it.
There's a frustration behind.
I know, I get the frustration of it not being good money, right?
Yeah.
But I never notice when someone watches me and doesn't tip me.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't pay attention to that. And I've never understood when buskers are like, this guy watched me for 30 minutes, he didn't leave any money. It's like, how did you even notice that? Like, why were you waiting for him to pay it?
Yeah.
To me, it's just very arrogant. And at the end of the day, street performance is a free show.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's a pop-up show.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And
if people want to tip, they can, but it's a free show. At the point where you're like expecting every individual who watches you to pay you, it gets a bit weird, and that's when it starts to border on like, that's when it gets a bit too close to begging for me.
Yeah.
You know, it gets a bit too close when there's like this big expectation for money, and it's like, I'll often bust just to feel better. I was in a terrible mood yesterday, and I just sang for an hour, and I felt great.
Yeah. And
like, I didn't even really care. I didn't care what went in the case, because it was really more about myself than it was anything else. It was just an opportunity to play, you know? And I've just never felt that, because for me in the early days, busking was a great way to practice, you know? And just really get out there, know I was bad, but be able to do it without like my mom being like, Dylan, you've been playing the guitar for an hour, can you stop now? You know, it's like it's like nobody was there to tell me to stop anymore, you know? Which I also understand, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's a rehearsal, a paid rehearsal. That's
Pretty
the
much.
way I take it.
Yeah, like you can learn a lot from it, you
Yeah.
know. And look, you can even make money from it sometimes. But like, I understand the frustration of not making good money because people have like, if busking is their job, they have rent to pay and stuff. I get it. But it's weird to be mad at a specific individual. I think.
Yeah.
To be like, that guy didn't pay me.
No.
It's like, that's weird. Like, I'm not taking mental notes of who's paying and who's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird to me.
As I said, we decided this will become our job.
Well, look, and it's hard. Like, without, you know, I know it's a bit cliche, but like, it shouldn't really be about money in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, and like, look, we have to live. But like, if you really want to make money, you can go do pub gigs. Like that is an option for every musician in Ireland. Yeah. Because there's such a big pub gig scene here. Take your covers, bring them to a bar. You'll get a guaranteed fee. Yeah. You know.
And also, you can put a tip jar and you'll get.
Sure. You know, and it's like, and like, you know, if money's your biggest concern, that's an option. It's a good way. That's a good way to play music and make money. Or weddings. You know, you can do really well doing weddings and stuff like that. So like. It's always been unusual to me for buskers to be like obsessed with every cent that's gone in the case and who it's coming from. It's just it's something about it's icky to me and it's very like anti-art, you know. And I don't like things that are very anti-art, you know. And like I said, I understand that a certain element of it is business and a certain element of it is survival, but like it's too businessy, especially for busking. Like at the end of the day, you're playing on the street. Yeah. Like nobody fucking it. No one's asking you to be there. Yeah. Like you just show up. Exactly. It's totally different if anyone wants to hire you. Yeah. Like, oh, we have a corporate event coming in. If they won't pay me, then I'm like, no, fuck you. Like you're asking me to be there. Yeah. Nobody is asking you to busk. Like some people would be happy if you didn't. Yeah, you know, like, most so like
what I'm doing now, for example, because I know most of people, like Irish people, that have to maybe work in Grafton Street, or walk there every time, and they see the buskers. They don't like the buskers.
They're sick of us. Yeah.
So what I do when I see the Irish Times, now they've been posting about who owns Grafton Street? Yeah. And my first comment, the buskers. Yeah. So it's just to tease people, you know, because I know they hate us. Because like it's like I'm on their side as well. Like I'll be sick if I walk down the streets and guys are playing the same songs over and over again.
No, look, I don't even think most of them hate us. I just think most of them don't care, you know. But like,
or maybe we're too loud or stuff like that.
I think some of the businesses don't like the buskers for sure. But like most people. This is another thing, like, people attach their ego to themselves as a musician, and there's an arrogance there, and I've definitely been guilty of that too. Like, I'm not immune to it. I'm not sitting on a high horse when I say this, like, because it's so wound into your identity, you attach a lot of meaning to things that don't really have a lot of meaning. Like, you just have to remember, people don't really hate you, because they actually just don't give a fuck about you. And those are two very different things. And like, some people might hate you, but it's way less than the people who don't give a fuck about you, and it's less than the people who love you too. So it doesn't really matter. You know, there's definitely some businesses on Grafton Street who would definitely prefer it if buskers didn't exist. But like, I'd say most people on Grafton Street don't even like hear the buskers really. Like, if you think about the amount of stores, like the amount of time I've met people who work on Grafton Street and they don't know who I am. You know, and I don't play as much as I used to, but until last year, I was playing on the street 5 days a week. So like, you think they would have bumped into me
at some stage
once, you know, and they're like, "Oh, do you play?" Yeah. Or someone be like, "Oh, then I'm busking on Grafton Street." And they're like, "Oh, you play, do you?" So like, that's a good reminder of like, you know, not only do they not give a fuck, they don't even know you exist. You know, because they're so not paying attention to you when they're walking by. They've definitely walked by me before, you know, because they couldn't get to work. If they didn't, but they're not paying attention to you, and that's the good news. Like, it would be worse if everyone hated you, but they don't. They just don't care. No, and that's okay. It's supposed to be like that. I mean, take
reality.
Take the giant acts. Coldplay, one of the most successful bands that ever exist. You know, definitely, like, in terms of success, like up there in the top 10 probably. You know. Most musicians I know talk shit about Coldplay. You know what I mean? So it's like, And then most people just don't ever really think about Coldplay, you know? So like they have a group of haters, and then the average person is just like, yeah, Coldplay, look, whatever. They know what they are, but they're like, yeah. And then you have the fans who are like, I love Coldplay. It's like, if it's like that for them, why would it be any different for us, you know?
Good point.
Yeah.
I always thought about that even when I was doing sports, when I was a kid. In a very small town in Chile called Cañete, I was playing tennis since I was a kid, you know, with my dad and all. And I had these individuals that were so up themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, who was the number one then? It was Roger Federer. And Roger Federer has always been the most humble guy in the tennis world, probably.
Yeah.
Or back then. And I was like, you are in the arts of the world.
Yeah.
Playing tennis, and you think you're someone.
Yeah.
Or you're better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Just like...
That comes from insecurity, though.
I know, but like
it's annoying to deal with, but no,
but always, you get my point.
It's always people like that, though.
Yeah.
It's very rare I meet someone successful in their field who isn't a nice person.
Yeah.
Like most people, not all, most successful people I've met, whether it's in music or business or whatever, are just like pretty relaxed people and kind of like pretty outgoing and stuff, you know, because they don't feel like they have anything to prove to you. Yeah. You know, exactly. It's the guys, it's the people like that where they're like good for people in that area. So they're like trying to hold on to this like small thing because they think it's a power. The ego. They think it's power. Yeah. It's attached to the ego. But it's also insecurity, you know, because it's the fear of losing that. Yeah. You know, or it's a fear of like not being like, when they're being like a bit distant from you, they're like trying to not be welcoming because they don't want to like
be at the same level.
Or like damage their reputation or something, or you know, it's people like that are weird, and you meet people like that all the time, but like I just fucking ignore them. Yeah, it used to really bother me too. Yeah, I'd be like, I haven't done anything to this guy, and all I did was say hi. Yeah, you know, and he just instantly decided he didn't like me, and like, which is fine. I don't mind. I actually don't mind not being liked, which is kind of a superpower I have. But like, but what bothered me was just the how instant it was. You know, it just didn't take anything. It's like, I am unlikable. Like, let me show you that I'm a dickhead. You know, like I'll show you pretty quick that I'm a dickhead, but like at least let me show you first. One, but just let me show you first, you know? Yeah. That used to really bother me. I still meet people like that, but now I just like if they're like being weird or something, it's like, whatever, man. You're not that important. Like, look, there's like 100 other people in this bar. I'll just go talk to someone else. Bye. You know? It's like, no way I have to make it strange and uncomfortable for everyone, you know? Yeah. Those people, they're so strange.
All right, man. I think we reached the time limit.
That's a wrap.
And it's been a lovely chat.
And I didn't say anything racist.
I was expecting something like that, spicy, but
something spicy.
You know.
Thanks for being here, man.
No, thank you for coming, man.
Because your other host just didn't show up. You know.
Who was that?
I have no idea. Some girl or something.
She actually invited you.
I gave up my time to be here, and she couldn't do it, and she was too busy traveling the world or something, which was really weird. Just weird to invite someone to your podcast and then not show up for it.
Yeah, it happened to me in an open mic, so I understand.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of unusual.
I know.
It's a bit
it doesn't feel great, does it?
No. Yeah. No. So.
Anyways.
Great chat.
We are who we are.
We are.
So now, Dylan, would you like to play some music for us?
I'll do a song,
yeah. But wait a second, because the episode will end now, and we will prepare everything for you to play.
Oh, great!
So don't worry about grabbing. Yeah, you can relax. We'll take like an hour break.
Yeah, 4 hours.
All right, thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
Ciao.
Ciao. Yeah, that's in Spanish.
Sacoea. dreamt of you last night. I saw it might be like to say goodbye. You were crying, I was angry, we were dying. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know. I crossed you today and looked the other way, my foolish ego. Thought it might be good if we didn't say a word. Did you notice it? You notice it? Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know,
Ja,